Are you ready to unmute your power? Are you sick and tired of being told to shut up? Welcome to Something to Say with me, Shae, because silence is no longer an option. This is not just a podcast, it's a revolution. This is for the women who are done tolerating mediocrity, done biting their tongues, and done playing small. With bold truths and unfiltered insights, I'll help you rip off that proverbial muzzle, put your stake in the ground, and take back the power you were told to suppress. You were never meant to be silent. The world is waiting to hear your voice. It's time to speak up, and speaking up starts now. To the woman who doesn't know how to access her power, to the woman who doesn't know where her power comes from, or that she even has power, this show is for you. This episode specifically is for you. Welcome to Something to Say. I'm your host, Shae, and I've been where you are, where you did everything right. You followed the rules. You went to school, you got married, had children, you got a job. Maybe you even sacrificed a career to stay home with your kids. You joined clubs, you helped out at your kids' school, you volunteer. You're a good person, trying to be good to everyone around you. But you feel something is missing, and you realize you're not happy, you're not fulfilled. And you don't understand because on the outside, you're doing everything right. It may even look like you have everything, or that you have your life together. Maybe people even tell you they're proud of you or admire you because by society standards, you're winning. And yet you're wondering why you're not happy. When do you get to be happy? Where does that come from? So maybe you book a vacation, or you figure out ways to take a break from your life. Is that what makes you happy? Maybe it's the weekend you look forward to, getting away from a job that you have because it's expected of you and it pays the bills, but it doesn't light you up. What in your life do you look forward to? Where in your life do you get to receive and feel joy and happiness and excitement? I used to dream of escaping my life, mostly because I never got a break. I never had a chance to just breathe. And I dreamt of sitting on a beach all alone with no one wanting or needing a thing from me. I was tired, exhausted, really, at a soul level. And there was nothing that seemed to recharge me for long. I was tired because I was constantly ignoring my own needs to meet the needs of my husband and children and work. And I believed if I worked hard enough, bent over backwards enough, sacrificed enough, and just did everything right, I would eventually feel happy and fulfilled. But I am here to tell you, whether it's a vacation or alcohol or drugs or shopping, if you are seeking out ways to escape your life, it is a sign that you're living out of alignment with your soul. I don't care if you live in a mansion or a shack. If joy and happiness are not the baseline of your life, you're out of alignment with your soul. One of my gifts is that I can make decisions that align with my higher self. I can see it. I see the path towards aligning with my soul and what doesn't. I can feel it. And it feels so natural to me, so much so that I thought everyone had this ability. But I've come to realize it's really not that common. Most people can't see the path to their highest good. And I know that I can sometimes come off as angry or judgy when people make choices that aren't good for them. But I promise it stems from me being able to see so clearly what is in alignment with your higher self and what isn't. And I just want to help people like that get back on their path so badly. The truth is this: our choices create our life, and we are responsible for our choices. We make our choices, and our choices make our life, period. When we make choices from a place of fear or conditioning or pleasing others, or from a place of desperately seeking relief or validation, our choices are never going to be in alignment with our highest good, our highest self. Because our highest self is not connected to survival or fear or pleasing others or desperation or validation. Our highest self is connected to love and trust and faith. And our highest self will always lead us to our greatest good, to our highest potential, to our wildest dreams. The path that is meant for each of us is different, but it is always in alignment with divine source. Unfortunately, our conditioning and programming, societal expectations, culture, religion, blah, 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 they feed us all these shoulds. And those shoulds are so heavily and deeply ingrained in our subconscious that we don't even know it drives our decisions and our life. And that's where the work comes in. We have to do the inner work to release what does not serve us, to know what is not true for us and what is not in our own best interest. Releasing what is not true and allowing what is true to become our guide is how we connect with our power. Knowing our truth and living it is how you become rooted in your being, knowing fully who you are, not how you're perceived, not even how you want to be perceived, but who you truly are. And then be deeply rooted in that truth. Because when you are deeply rooted in that, you are able to make decisions that will take you closer and closer to a life that brings you joy, a life that you don't need a vacation from. And that is possible, but it is not taught. We've been taught that struggle and survival and obedience, hard work and hustle is how you get the things you want. But all you have to do is look around and know that that is not true. There are people who work long, crazy hours or multiple jobs just to have ends meet. Do they have what they want? Are they happy? Are they overjoyed? Or are they the most tired and usually most broke people you know? The wealthiest people who have all the things that we think we want, they didn't get wealthy by working long hours or multiple jobs. They usually do the least. They outsource, they delegate. Trust me, I know. I can tell you that the higher I got in corporate, the less work I actually did, like a lot less. But the higher I got, the more money I made. It's counterintuitive. You have to really get to the root of your beliefs, your unconscious core beliefs, and bring them into your conscious awareness to know what is driving your decisions and creating your life. Because that is driving your life. Our limiting unconscious beliefs are making you make decisions from fear or survival. And those decisions do not align with your highest good. I am here to remind you of how powerful you actually are. That you can change anything and everything about your life if you want to. That you have unlimited potential and power when you know how to tap into it. I'm here to help women learn that self-expression is liberation, freedom. That is what we all truly want, freedom. Freedom from obligations, freedom from the conditioning, freedom from expectations and judgment, from financial constraints, from having to work jobs we hate just to pay the bills, freedom and peace. Because we've all struggled, we've all been hurt, we all have heartbreak and betrayals and suffering and pain. We're all seeking freedom from that. And you can have it here on earth in your life starting today. I am living proof of that. My life has not been linear. I've not gone from nothing to everything in a straight line. There have been ups and downs, successes and failures, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. I have changed my life many times over. I have started over multiple times. I've changed companies and careers, and I have changed my mind a lot. Because I decided a long time ago that how I feel matters more than anything else. It matters more than what others think or even how much I'm being paid. I wasn't willing to sell my soul for money or for the approval of others. I want my approval now. I want fulfillment and happiness, and I trust that everything I need will show up with that. I know it will. I know I can trust that I can have it all. True love, money, fulfillment, happiness, peace, fame, whatever it is I want, I know I can have it. And my job isn't to make it happen. It's not about the hustle. My job is to remove all the resistance I have to receiving it. I had to release all the unconscious limiting beliefs that got in the way. The self-doubt, the worry of judgment, the worry of failing, the worry of making a fool of myself. I had to let all of that go. And all I have to do now is release resistance and align my vibration, my frequency to that which I want to manifest. To be honest, I felt guided to do this episode today. I wasn't really planning to do this. I was going to do a rerun of a past show because I have a lot going on in my life right now. But I felt this pull, this call to do a show to hook your heart, to take a hold of your soul and get your full attention on my words. So hear me. Hear me. You can change everything. You can start over. You can redo everything. Just because you made a decision 10 years ago or 5 years ago or even yesterday does not mean that you can't change it. It doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you wrong or selfish. And it doesn't make you a failure. You are here to experience life. You are here to experience what it feels like to experience different things. Listen, I know what it feels like to struggle. I know what it feels like to grieve. I know what it feels like to be in despair. I know what it feels like to be in full survival mode with money. And I also know what it feels like to earn so much money where I felt completely free. I could buy anything. I know what it feels like to work jobs that made me want to jump off a bridge. And I know what it feels like to work at a company that made me feel like I could do and become anything. I know what it feels like to marry my best friend, and I know what it feels like to marry my enemy. I know what it feels like to give every single piece of your heart to your children and to feel like it's still not enough. And I know what it feels like to love unconditionally and what it feels like to be loved conditionally. I know what it feels like to be touched by Jesus's hand, and I also know what it feels like to be lost and alone. And I've made it through all of that and more. You are here to feel and experience and decide what you want and what you don't want. You're not here to pick a lane and stay in it for the rest of your life. Unless, of course, that makes you ecstatic, not safe, but ecstatic and joyful and blissful. If staying with what you picked 10 or 20 years ago is what you still want today and it lights you up, good for you. I hope that that path has brought many experiences with it. But if you picked something a while ago and today you are miserable in that, or you just aren't happy, you don't even have to be miserable. You just don't feel alive anymore. You can change your mind. It's okay. You don't have to wait for a tragedy or even a reason. You can just decide that it's time to make a change and you can choose something else. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's worth it. You're worth it. It does take courage and strength to follow your heart, and you need to trust your intuition, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you care more about what people are going to say about you than you do your own happiness, you will be stopped dead in your tracks. You won't make a move. If you seek permission from those around you, they're going to try to stop you from pursuing your happiness because they don't want you to outgrow them. They'll convince you that it's a tolerable level of unhappiness and that no one is really truly happy, or that it's normal for relationships to be that hard. I'm going to say this again. If you care more about what other people think or say about you pursuing your happiness, your actual happiness, you won't change anything. You'll find excuses to stay. And trust me, we all can make excuses all day long to not pursue our happiness, to not go after our dreams, to stay where we are. And the world sure gives us a lot of excuses to stay small and stay stuck. You'll even be told it's irresponsible or selfish to pursue your happiness. Be fucking selfish, okay? Who else should be at the center of your world but you? If you aren't looking after your own happiness and well-being, who the hell is? The people who are calling you selfish are being selfish by telling you to sacrifice your happiness. Listen to me. Hear my voice. Feel my presence. Look at my face. I'm here in front of you to remind you of your power. You can change everything. You can start over. You can. You can choose differently. You can do that as much as you want. It doesn't make you bad. It makes you authentic. It makes you honest. It makes you deeper for these experiences. And it'll make you braver and stronger for taking risks and overcoming hard things. And it will make you richer in a lot of ways. Your character and your wisdom will be honed. Hear me, you are worth all of that. At the end of this show, I want to share some affirmations with you, things that you can replay them over and over again. Fall asleep to it, record it in your own word, in your own voice. Add some if you want. Meditate, whatever works. But that's one way you can change your programming, your subconscious beliefs. That's what's worked for me. Affirmations, the ones that I'm going to share with you later, they're intended to help you become more rooted in your being, to know who you really, truly are, to remind you of your power, and to root you in confidence. When you embrace who you truly are, when you understand who you truly are, you come to trust yourself, and your judgment will be in alignment with your highest self, with source. And when you are in alignment, your decisions become easier and easier because you'll know what is right for you, what is true for you. And you will not waver on that to please other people. You won't feel like you have to make excuses, and you won't feel like you have to justify anything because you're rooted in who you are. And it's a knowing, a deep, deep knowing. And that makes you unshakable. That is what power is and where it comes from. Your rootedness. So don't be afraid of change. Growth is in change. Beauty is in change. Fire is in change. Joy and laughter and bliss is in change, even when it's hard. Even if it's change you don't want, change that was brought upon you or forced upon you by someone or something else. If you can allow yourself to move through the change that you don't want and trust that it's for your highest good in some way, and in a way you may never understand, but if you can trust that it's for your highest good and move through that, you will find joy on the other side. Change isn't always our choice, but we do have a choice in how we respond to that change. And that's power. We can stay stuck and we can blame and play the victim, or we can embrace change and see it as a new beginning and get really, really curious about who you can now become. Now that you don't have that thing or that thing fell away and you're no longer attached to it, who can you now become? You have a clean slate. I don't care if you have a lot of money or no money, a lot of friends or no friends. You can change literally anything about your life, anything you don't like. We can't control another person. You cannot make someone else do something because this is not about someone else. That's not power. Our power does not come from other people. This is not about anyone but you. You and only you can change your life, your behavior, your mindset, your thoughts, your patterns, your choices. That is where your power lies. If you want a different outcome, you have to change something about yourself, not someone else. This is where power begins, accountability. This is how you get your power back. This is how you start creating a life you love. Now, with all that said, I would love to share some affirmations with you. So, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes and take a deep breath, please do so. Get comfortable. I'm going to read these somewhat slowly so that you can really let them sink in and pay attention to how you feel when you say these affirmations. That is how I have uncovered my own limiting unconscious beliefs by saying affirmations over and over to myself and feeling the resistance within my body. And then I explore that. So take a deep breath, close your eyes. Here we go. I am rooted in who I truly am. I trust myself to make aligned decisions. I am allowed to change. I am safe to choose differently. My joy is sacred. I am not too late. I am not too much. I can create a life I love. My power is rising. I am the author of my life. I give myself permission to change. I no longer wait for validation. I lead myself. I don't need to be ready. I just need to be willing. I am worthy of a life that feels good to live. I release shame, guilt, and comparison. They are not mine. I am lovable in my wholeness, not in my perfection. I can begin again at any time. My past does not define my future. I am here to experience joy, beauty, and freedom. Everything I need is already within me. The life I desire is not a fantasy, it's a frequency. I am open to miracles. I am aligned with expansion. I am deeply rooted in who I am. I am anchored in love, not fear. If this episode lit something inside you, if this reached your heart and your soul, I am creating something for you. It's a course called Rooted. It's a return to yourself, to your knowing, to your voice, to your damn power. I'm currently working on this, and you'll be able to access this on my website, guidedbyjamie.com. Right now, you can go there and get on the wait list so that when the course drops, you'll be the first to be notified. So let me just say this: the moment you become rooted in who you are, in your truth, everything in your life will begin to shift. With that, I wish you all the best and thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Something to Say with me, Jamie Shae, because silence is no longer an option. Catch me live every first and third Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, on transformationtalkradio.com to learn how you too can rip off your proverbial muzzle. Silence was never your destiny. It's time to speak up. Subscribe to my channel to listen first when new episodes drop. Follow me on social media and visit guidedbyjamie.com to join the community that has something to say.